The birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we talked about the signs that happened at the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the indication of being a prophet. Among the indications and among the signs that we're going to continue, and we talked about last week and we'll continue this week as well, that the palace of Kisra, we talked about Kisra in way few halaqas before. Who's Kisra? Who can tell me who Kisra is? Tell me. The king of the Persian, mashallah. King of Persian, inshallah. Here, for that I'm going to give you one. You stay, I'll throw it for you. Go ahead, catch it. Good job, inshallah. So his palace had an earthquake. And when the earthquake happened, 14 balconies got demolished. 14 balconies got demolished from the palace of the Persian, of the king of the Persians. And also the fire that they used to light, that they used to worship, it was extinguished. It was put out the day that he was born. And also after the earthquake, the same thing, all those incidents happened. They had a pond, and the pond that named Sawa. That pond, it used to be very holy for the Persian, and they used to take care of it very carefully, that the earth beneath that pond opened up and swallowed all the water. This is among the signs. And among the signs that happened also, that the Persian king, Kisra, he got afraid and he got frightened and he got so scared that what's happening? What's going on? Something's weird is happening here. Fire is out, water disappearing, and the earthquake, that 14 balcony got demolished. What happened? So what he did, he gathered all the magicians and all the fortune tellers, and he started asking them to figure out what's going on, what's happening. We know from the Quran, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, that how some of the magicians used to have a connection and used to have a contact with the jinn. And they used to get some information. The jinn used to go up to the sky and listen to any news and come and give it to the magicians so they can do fitna with the people. So therefore, he asked all the magicians to figure out what's going on, what's happening. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in the Quran said, وَأَنَّا كُنَّا نَقْعُدُ مِنْهَا مَقَاعِدَ لِلسَّمْعِ, that the jinn used to sit and listen to any news or what's happening, so they can come and tell the magician and the fortune tellers. So when this thing's happening all at once, then Kisra was asking them to explain and figure out what's going on. They told Kisra, they told the king of the Persian, that all these incidents taking place because of a birth of a prophet. Because of a birth of a prophet, that's why all these incidents taking place. Then he asked them, what about the 14 balcony that got demolished? Why? Then give me an explanation. Then they told him the interpretation for that it will only be left 14 king from the Persian. Then the rule of the Persian will vanish, will disappear. They will not rule anymore. So when Kisra, he found out that, okay, 14 kings, still this is a long time, I have nothing to concern about, nothing to worry about, because each king used to rule for a long time. So he told them, in 14 king, after 14 rule, 14 kings, they will rule from the Persian, then the kingdom of Persian will demolish. However, after Kisra died, after the king died, then a great incident happened, that within 4 years. All the kings, they will start dying one after the other. Within 4 years, 10 kings of Persian died. And only 4 left. Subhanallah, within 10 years. Now we'll come back again to the Quraysh. So we know that Prophet ﷺ was born and he was named Muhammad by who? No, not by Abdullah. By who? Who named him Muhammad, the Prophet ﷺ? Abdul Muttalib, inshallah, there we go. Catch it. So Abdul Muttalib named him, as we talked about the incident, how the name of Muhammad came into the region because it did not exist before. So they named him Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and at the time of Quraysh, what happened is that any newborn baby, they used to send him outside Mecca and raise him outside Mecca. The reason why they would send him outside Mecca, because we know that Mecca, a lot of Hujjaj and a lot of pilgrimage, they come to Mecca. So the reason why they wouldn't want to leave him with the Hujjaj, because as we know, some of the pilgrimage, they would stay in Mecca, and some of them, they would have an accent. Or it's a city. So they want to keep the newborn away from the city to the outskirts of Mecca, or to the border, or outside Mecca into the desert. Why? So this way the newborn babies will not be affected by the language, because a lot of people, they come to Mecca, they have different accent, different language. So therefore, in order to preserve the children, they would send them outside until they become strong and they will not get affected anymore. Then they bring him back again to Mecca. So that's one of the reasons, is so he will not be affected. Number one, by the language. So he will speak pure Arabic. Pure Arabic. So he can learn the pure Arabic in the desert with the pure Arab. And the other reason why they would send him outside, also outside Mecca, because Mecca is a city place for them at that time. And outside Mecca, it's a tough life. So what happened is, when they send the child at the younger age, or the baby, to the tough life from his young age, then he will grow up strong. Rather, when he lives in the city, we know that as majority of the people who lives in the city are not as tougher as the one who lives in the farm, or the ones who live in the village, you know what I mean? We know that from our current lives. So therefore they send him outside so he becomes strong and tough and can resist. And the other reason also, that the reason why they would send him outside into the desert, the newborn, they would also send him to keep him away from the illness. Because you know, when there's a lot of gathering, a lot of people around, easy and for the baby, and will be exposed to a lot of illness and diseases. So therefore they send them outside, because we know in the desert it's a clean air, it's a clean life, it's a pure life, it's lesser chance of the person to get sick. So that's why until he becomes strong, they send him outside of Mecca. And that's how they used to do it. Also, the Arab who lives outside Mecca in the desert or away from Mecca, they would use this opportunity to make some money, or to make some profit, to make some earning and some living. So what they would do is, anybody who is able to breastfeed a child, all the women will gather, and they will go in one group. They go to Mecca and they'll check out any newborn. So they will, every woman will take a baby to raise him and breastfeed him and take care of him. When he becomes elder and he grow up, she bring him back again to his family. All the women went, including a lady. Her name Halima As-Sa'diyah. They went to Mecca to search for someone to look after and to find their living. So Halima As-Sa'diyah and her husband Al-Harith, they went among a group of people, went to search for someone so they can look after him, so they can find their living. And the tradition at that time, that they will never ask for money. They will never ask for earning and for in return. But what they do is they'll take care of the baby because it used to be shameful for them to ask for money, that I'll breastfeed him or I'll take care of him and you'll give me so much money. They would not ask because this was a shameful things to ask. So what they will do is the ladies, they would go and look for someone who is really rich or someone who's in a good position, and they will try to take care of that baby. So perhaps when they return the baby as a strong man, the family who is rich and strong, they will be generous with them and they'll give them as a tip, you know what I mean, as in something, as in favor, as in a gift. So they were looking for this kind of gift. So inshallah ta'ala, next class we'll talk about what happened with Halima Sa'diyah and the incidents that took place after the Prophet ﷺ was born, and after Halima took the Prophet ﷺ and how she took it. We will talk about that inshallah next week. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.